Welcome back to Geekshow Helpdesk.
You almost said Gadget Spot. You almost did it. I saw it.
We're not
don't
allowed
think
to
so.
say that anymore,
I
Lando.
don't
Oh,
think so.
sorry. I'm pretty sure.
I
There's a
think he almost said
hesitation?
Geek Show. I think he almost said Geek Show Arcade.
I might have almost said that.
Yeah.
That's for later.
Yeah.
This is the Geekshow Helpdesk.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And let's kick this show off by introducing our illustrious panelists. To my right, Jaren.
Hey! Hi, everyone. Am
Hey,
I allowed
that's
to
Jaren.
introduce myself, or are
Yeah,
you doing that?
go
So I'm
for it.
Jaren. Find me on Twitter at Jaren.
There you go. Next to Jaren, on his right, we got Lando.
It's Lando. You can find me at landon.conover on Threads. I'm also on Twitter,
Oh.
but that's much spicier, nonsensical stuff. Threads is where the good stuff is.
Good is subjective.
Hey,
Underneath
hey,
him,
hey,
we got
hey.
Owen.
Hello.
Say,
That's
say-
right. Sorry, I'm
Jesus
just
Priest.
Tony. You've ripped it out of me, man. I don't do it anymore. Hey, follow me on Twitter at TechNolan. That's
There
where
you
I'm
go.
at. I don't know
Perfect.
if I'm going to join Threads.
Next
good
to
time.
Owen, we got James.
What's up, guys? Power bottom left. I got my Gatorade Zero powering up with electrolytes to vanquish Landon. I'm on Threads at JDD.
Why not Jaren? Can we
places
van-
everywhere else?
Can we not
Instagram.
vanquish Jaren?
No.
I meant to say I said Landon, didn't I?
yeah,
Yeah,
you did say
did.
Landon.
Yeah,
That's-
you got it right. Don't worry.
We all vote.
I'm glad-
We concur.
I'm glad you're drinking things with
In re-
electrolytes because that's what plants crave.
That's what the body needs.
Way to plant, James.
Thanks. In real life, Landon and I are BFFs, but on the radio waves,
Podcast?
nemesis.
We're
Okay, that's great. Moving along.
we have a host.
There we go.
Right above me.
Hey.
Right above me, right up there.
Check me out on
He-
Twitter
you-
at Quad T Tony or on other Geek Show podcasts, assorted Geek Show podcasts. And,
Professionals, guys. We
that's
are
right.
professionals.
Like
Been
That's
doing
right.
this for years.
We're making a little change up here. We're going to do the Patreon shout-outs at the end of the episode. So stay tuned for that. We love you so much, Patreon backers. But we need to get into the show a little bit faster. So we're gonna do that starting
As if
from here on out.
As if we couldn't derail you from the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid. All right, do we have any emails?
Yes, we do.
All right,
All right.
cool.
Moving
wanna read
on.
Next.
Yeah,
gotta-
this show has
That
a
emailed
vibe.
was
This episode.
featured from my
It's good. It's
dad.
already got a vibe, right?
It's
got
already
that. It's like it's got an ADHD with a
got a hint of umami.
something.
Mommy. We got an email from Squinky's pal. He says, I've switched over to console gaming almost exclusively.
Wow,
So with a
nice.
heavy heart, I think I'll be permanently retiring from towers in favor of a laptop as my home workstation.
Okay.
That said, this is a sad day. That said, what would be a good laptop choice? What would be a good laptop choices are out there? Yes. Now
Just
that
in
would
case
be
I
a
want to come
decent.
back.
Now that would be a decent gaming rig. I'll be hooking it up to standard HDMI monitors and using wired keyboard and mouse.
It's all relative to how much money he wants to spend, right?
That's exactly right. Yep.
It
I would say it
depends.
depends on how much you want to spend, but if you want a good, like a good or better gaming experience on a laptop, you're going to want a 3070 or more powerful, and you're going to want an i7 or a 8-core Ryzen processor.
Probably like $1,000.
I would
at the minimum at this point.
I would say you're comfortable at you'd be comfortable and have a lot of choices around $1,500.
Oh, we could get a lot of choices.
Yeah,
at
there are a lot of good
1,500.
choices at $1,500, and you'd be playing in the 4000 series GPU stuff. Which, if you can swing that, I highly recommend it. Like a 4070 or something like that, because it has DLSS 3, the frame generation stuff, which is on games that support it. It's a game changer. It's freaking amazing. So
Changes the game.
What's some brands to look for?
brands to look for would be I like the Asus stuff. I like Lenovo Legion. I'm not a big fan of MSI on their laptops because for whatever reason they never include G-Sync on their screens.
Ugh.
Ever. Even on their super high-end stuff, they don't have G-Sync. But that's like
And
table
define
stakes.
what G-Sync
Those
is really
turds.
quick for some newer
Everyone
listeners.
knows what G-Sync is.
I don't.
It's so that your graphics card and your screen are on the exact same frame at the same time so that you don't end up with screen tearing and
So
That's
they're
not a
in
good thing.
sync.
yeah, so they're in sync basically.
Why is it called G-Sync? Why not like
Graphics.
Screen Sync?
graphics,
Graphics sync.
sync.
Welcome to
Hardware
the.
sync? I don't know.
Or
gonna-
GeForce Sync.
If this was the arcade, I would
Might
berate
be
you.
might be GeForce Sync because it is an NVIDIA thing. So so that's what I
Yeah, good.
recommend. Get 16 gigs of RAM is fine as long as the laptop is upgradable on the RAM, because at some point you're going to want to go to 32 gig, I'm sure.
Well,
And,
what's the time frame on that? Do you think?
I mean, I wouldn't buy one without 32 gigs right now unless
Same.
I was
just
planning
didn't
on
say that.
immediately buying new
30
sticks to drop in there.
Right, 32 gigs.
So-
Yeah, if like the price difference between a 16 gig machine and a 32 gig machine is something
usually-
ridiculous, like
Yeah.
$600, like they do with Mac.
Oh yeah.
You know, but Macs you can't change them, right? But like
Exactly.
if it's a ridiculous amount of price difference between the two, go with the lesser one and then throw sticks in, because you can always wait for a cheap RAM
Yep.
to go on sale.
As long as you have the tools to open up the laptop. Some laptops can be a
Most
bit
of-
harder
Most
than
of the
others.
time, it's just a screwdriver and a pry tool.
Pry
you know,
tool,
a
yep.
soft pry
And
tool
the guts to
to do it.
to
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah, it
are
does
like,
take good
no
guts.
way.
So there you go. And almost all laptops now come with two NVMe drive slots. Every gaming laptop you see will at least have 512 gigabytes, but 1 terabyte would be nicer, because then you can toss another 1 terabyte or a 2 terabyte in there. So
Email's not over yet. Number 2.
oh no,
I would like to mirror my boot drive in a laptop. Any experience or advice from the collective on how to do that, either at order time or aftermarket?
my advice is don't do it. Do
Why
not
not?
try to clone your C drive from one machine to the next.
Bad idea.
I've done it.
No,
but-
you can, but I don't recommend it. I
Yeah.
100% recommend a fresh install of Windows, because
I-
you're dealing with all the old junk you have on the old computer. You're dealing with drivers, different drivers from different chipsets, different
Yep.
graphic drivers, all of that stuff. And it can work out sometimes, but most of the time you end up with something not working correctly, and you have to nuke it and start over anyway.
Yeah, and I recommend doing that to Windows every 3 years anyway, like
New-
a couple
yeah,
years.
fresh install,
because,
for sure.
Because Windows is a great operating system, but they don't really care about the cleanup a bunch. So you get leftover registry keys that are just useless.
That
but
doesn't
those,
affect performance,
It does.
and you know
It-
it.
it
It does.
affects-
There's been so many
No, no,
studies
it
that
affects
show that it does
Studies?
not
What are you
affect
talking
it
about?
affects-
Darren named
affects-
17.
studies.
It
No,
affects-
there's
it-
no one does studies
Who
on the
are they?
registry. That's
No, it
baloney.
doesn't. It doesn't
Google
affect,
it. It's
it
a
doesn't-
myth, Owen.
They're
They're
doesn't
tricking
affect,
you.
No, it
I
doesn't
wanna see
affect.
Yes,
studies.
the deep
does-
state is getting to you, man.
no.
No, man, I'm not even getting out my
Get
tinfoil
that-
hat here,
get
because
that
I
tinfoil
know
hat.
because what happens.
I
here-
haven't installed a new version of
Jared,
Windows in like
Jared.
4 or 5 years.
Then you're
I've
missing.
been
Then you're
fine.
missing out. But here's the problem:
should
you
do
don't
it.
have
Your
kids. You don't uninstall a lot. You don't do a lot of that same stuff. If something goes bad, you just start. What do you do?
Did you say I don't have kids?
No, you don't have like kids that like install.
I
a
do.
bunch
I
of
do have
stuff.
like kids.
You don't have real
You
kids.
have kids. You have real kids because your
Got
kids
fake
can't touch your
kids.
computer.
Look at that
Yeah.
smile on your face. You
You
don't got real kids.
They can't possibly be real kids because they don't touch the computer.
Well, so
Fake
Owen,
kids.
can I just defrag instead of reinstall? Would that
You
work?
can't do.
Oh,
you can't do that
Guess
anymore.
what?
Defrag,
You're
what
never
are you
going to
f-
But the
defrag
point
on
is-
a
the
solid
point
state
is-
drive.
my point is it doesn't
Jaron,
affect-
You're
Never.
arguing with
That's
the
why the
hoarder
joke's
right
funny,
now, bud.
Tony.
Yeah, dude. You can't really. And Jaren's not wrong. It doesn't affect performance all the time. But wait till you're trying to chase something down that has a registry file. But my point is, it affects startup because it has to load the entire registry hive and check everything.
It doesn't load the
when
registry on
then
startup.
Then why, when you reinstall Windows, it
'Cause-
runs way
Who's
faster?
the IT professional
Okay,
here,
then
Jared?
go to just the normal task manager, go to the startup tab, and disable
No.
everything that you don't want to start on
No,
startup.
it's
That's what you
still-
do.
Windows still has to read when you are at the boot screen with the little spinning wheel. It's
It does
reading
not.
it is reading the
No.
registry.
There's studies, Owen.
Why do
It
you
is not.
Apparently.
Why do you think that when you change the registry, you have to restart?
You don't have to restart.
Absolutely. Change
No,
the
you
registry.
absolutely do not. I've
I'm
changed
with
the registry
Jared.
a
I'm with
billion
Jared
times.
on this one.
No, no
It
way.
depends on what you
You can
change
maybe
in the
relaunch
registry.
the application, but if it's system related, you have to reboot.
No,
if it's
you don't.
Oh, you do.
But
Absolutely.
you may not have to, but you absolutely should.
Yeah, you should.
Well, Lando,
think everybody's
the
right.
Mac OS user, chime
Yeah,
in here.
I
Thank you.
play a part.
Ah.
I'm a
Just saying.
sysadmin by nature.
I just saying,
and
if you
I'm
don't
with
rebuild
Owen on this one, 100%.
if you don't rebuild Windows once every 3 years, you're missing out. So if
no,
you're,
no.
I agree.
My
with Owen
my
on
installation is going strong.
Nope.
Whenever a problem crops up, I fix it right
This is
then. Don't
Jared.
worry
Define
about it.
strong. That's relative,
this
dude.
is Jaron, who always fixes the problem immediately, shuts down his computer gracefully every night.
Jaron never
starts it
shuts
up.
down his computer.
No, I never shut down
You
my
just
computer.
sleep it, right? You just
Yeah.
sleep it? Okay, well.
I only shut it. I only restart it
You
when I
are,
have to install updates.
you are such an outlier with computer users.
Thank you.
Even
that-
Windows has gotten way, way, way better over the years.
Oh, much better. I'll
but
admit.
I still recommend a fresh install every couple, 2-3 years.
I have
And
done the clone. And you can throw it. What happens? You throw it against the wall on the new hardware. It freaks out. It can't find all the stuff, and it will work.
It'll
And you-
recover.
And you want to do that sometimes if you've got an app that you don't have the install disks for anymore, or something you can't find the license key for, which is really rare nowadays because of
Most
digital
of it's
licensing,
just service as a
right?
software.
Yeah.
that you
So- So
subscribe to.
there's really no reason for that. But if you're doing it as a backup, like to back up your drive to keep a spare, like I do that all the time. And
Well,
especially if he wants to reuse that old drive in the new system, then yeah, take a backup of it. You can always go dig through that.
I wouldn't even bother backing up a C drive, but that's because I format my computer system so that the C drive, all it does is house programs. Every bit of data that the
Yeah.
programs use is on secondary drives.
Yep.
Some
That's
of
the
that,
way to
some
do
of
it.
that's not like if you install Google Drive, or not.
You can tell it to save
tell it
to
to
the
install
secondary
the
drive,
second drive.
and that's what I
Again,
always do.
Again, that's more the exception to the rule.
The,
Sure.
the problem
You're
is
right, you're right.
I've made so many customizations to like the registry to task scheduler.
Sounds
It would be so hard to
Can
reinstall everything.
Can you export those settings to the new? That's something Windows.
Well, then
At
if I
some
export the
point-
registry and import it, that would kind of undo the whole point
Yeah,
of
I mean,
reinstalling
excellent.
Windows according to
At
you.
some
No, that's
point,
what I'm
you've
saying,
made
just
so
the
many
settings.
changes.
just the settings, like the
You
task
wanna start-
schedule. That's not registry.
No,
Like the
task scheduler isn't, but I also said registry though.
But you've made so many changes, Jaron. At some point, you want to start over fresh because you don't
No,
know.
I
all the-
don't.
Do you
I
know
love
every
my
change you've
changes.
made
They are
the
known
past
to
4
me.
years?
Everyone is numbered.
Then reinstall and redo them.
Exactly.
Who cares?
See, again, Jaron.
You don't
every
remember all the
single one
changes.
of
That's
it.
nonsense.
Oh no, he absolutely does. I bet you has a spreadsheet of the ones he's changed.
That's okay. Fair.
Tell me you
That's
don't,
fair.
Jaron.
Very long email, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Very
Saved
long.
saved in a
Like
draft.
email threads.
Why would you
gross.
save it in a draft? Just send it to yourself, and it's saved in
No.
your inbox.
You don't tell me what to do. This email's still going. We're not done yet. Number 3.
Oh wow.
I see. As you see, we are slightly
passionate.
torn on this subject, but I
Okay.
think the majority of us say fresh install. Absolutely. Do
Oh
not
yeah,
clone that
going
drive.
from like one brand of laptop to another brand of laptop.
absolutely
yeah.
not.
What are you
I agree
talking
with
about?
that.
I definitely reinstall to go faster.
But on my tower,
Yes.
I have put in a new Mobo without reinstalling. It's been
And then
fine.
and then you reinstall
Yeah.
later to go faster.
No,
Okay.
I never
It's
did.
all good. It's all good.
And it's great. It's fantastic. My computer's faster than Tony's, in fact. Anyway, number 3. Any
wish
special?
You wish.
No, it is. Any special thing I need to know for making backups using a Cronus? A Cronus?
Acronis.
Oh,
To an
yeah.
external USB drive. Thanks for doing God's work here every week. That's it.
Hey, you're welcome.
got
As
you.
far as Acronis goes, I've never played with Acronis, so
I have a lot.
Okay, so Owen,
so-
take this one.
So if it's Windows, Acronis tries to boot to the EUFI or whatever, UEFI.
Yeah.
So you might run into some problems there. Make sure you go turn off secure boot because Windows will flip out, tries to load its own little Linux operating system. If you're going to do it unencrypted, if you have BitLocker turned on, unencrypt
Oh, yeah.
BitLocker
definitely
first.
Turn that off.
It's after that. As long as sometimes I get into trouble with graphics drivers. If you've got an older machine, it will look horrible. But most of the stuff is decent, and then it's just really just choosing your drives, and it goes by partition. So remember that to put the partitions in order, at least when you're doing the pull, because when it goes to push them back in, you kind of have to be like, okay, I want this partition first, and this partition second, and this partition third, and if they're not in the right order, when you go to
We
boot
are-
up, Windows won't know what to do.
We are in the weeds.
Yeah, just saying. There's a.
That's because if you look at a drive, like
those
your
are-
C drive, it'll say like boot manager,
Right.
Data or whatever. and
Those
then-
have to be
So
in
it has to be the boot
somewhat in
manager
the
has
right
to be
order, right?
first.
Yeah. So
I
just
think.
just some things to note there. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's one of the fastest ones. It's a good product that I've purchased. I have actually purchased that one.
Yeah.
It's
See, I
pretty
just go old school. I use this free product called Clonezilla.
Also good.
and you boot to a USB, and then you can basically just do an
Yep.
exact clone of one drive to another.
That's what Acronis does too.
Okay. yeah.
Acronis tags itself in your Windows registry on the copy though for licensing, which is
Oh,
where
nice.
this is how they track. Oh, you've made a copy of this
Yeah.
drive before. So anyway,
Well, there you go. Hope that answered your questions. Hope
then
you're not
some.
more confused than when you
sorry,
started.
sorry that Jared peaked the microphone when he was screaming
Many times.
about.
I
not
never
reading-
screamed.
You did about not
No, that was
reinstalling, which is
Lando.
what you should do because that's just what you're supposed to do. It makes it run better and faster and more good.
Jared.
So.
I'm not yelling.
Dude, I so hope Megan, your wife, just heard that from like across the house.
She's gonna come in. You're gonna get a
That
crack.
podcast
Yeah,
is
the
getting-
door.
You okay in there?
Door's gonna crack open.
I'll just look to her and say, "The podcast is over forever."
Simon
No more
is just in
gadget
the
spot
corner just peeing.
ever again.
Give it up.
You're right about that, Jaron. It's
Yep.
It's Geekshow Helpdesk now. Let's see. All right. That was a good email. Good. A lot of good discussion going on there. Let's talk about some of the stories of the week. We'll start with this one because it ties into what we were talking about a little bit. Chinese smuggler caught with 420 NVMe SSDs taped to his
Again?
body.
Guess
in-
how much? Guess how much that weighs?
in the airport.
Did they say how much that weighs? I looked up. I did the math on that story.
I'm sure it's a lot.
33 pounds
Oh my gosh, 33 pounds of electronics stuck to you.
in a
Wow,
girdle.
that's kind of
around
a dream, a weird dream for me.
it. Like, how do you go through an X-ray machine?
What kind of dreams are you having? I
So,
don't
and if you go look at the
understand.
pictures, he's made them into like strips,
Yeah.
like groupings of 20 or so per strip, and he just has them all around his body like
Yeah.
bricks of cocaine that you've taped to your torso.
That's how hot the market is, you know, for
What-
Intel and stuff outside. Like,
No. This was NVMe drives. That's
Oh.
what's funny about that
Oh,
right now. Is
okay.
those are the prices are dropping like a rock.
oh,
And so he
really?
was
listen
even.
to
Whoa.
listen to Owen just making excuses for a fellow hoarder. Just
Well,
right
here's-
there. you know
I was like,
here's the
my
thing.
guy.
It's just a collector.
Owen's not entirely wrong because about 4 days later they caught another guy smuggling Intel CPUs.
That's the one I thought this was. I didn't know
Yeah.
this was the
This is
NVMe.
both
Yeah.
happened in the last week from China. So
There's got to be a market for it enough to make that risk worth it, right?
I guess, you know.
like risk versus reward.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've always wondered, just because of how much money stands to be made and then how big of a consequence it is, why don't you just fly private?
that would cut into the bottom line too much, James.
they don't.
Come on.
I think access. and I
Flying
think
private, really?
And I also think that the Chinese government is very strict about their customs and stuff.
I mean, they used to do that with cocaine, with Cuba.
not out of China.
Right? It's
Yeah,
not that.
Cuba-
it's not that
Cuba's-
much difference.
Cuba's run a little
terms
more
of
loosely than
distance.
China, I
Yeah.
think. In
think
fact, a lot
China's-
more
When you hit the
loosely.
challenge button.
All right. Well, there you go. Maybe you can find yourself a black market NVMe drive or a
Don't
CPU.
do that. right?
And you can point at it and say, "It's hot. My son found it for me. It's
go
hot."
to go to the.
Seinfeld.
You might have to go to the dark web to buy a drive like that, though.
That's right. Let's see. Also, well, leaning into Chinese news, Jaron has a BS right here
I
from
have
China.
a couple BSs actually.
All right.
Should I just go into it?
Sure.
One of the main problems with lithium-ion batteries and EVs is, well, one is range, which we'll get to in the Toyota story after this. Another one is cold weather.
Yeah.
If you ever owned an EV, you'll notice that your range goes down by like 33% in cold weather. And it's harder on your battery, and it takes longer to charge, all sorts of good stuff. Well, a Chinese startup claims that its new EV battery doesn't lose range in the cold,
What?
which
That's a
would be
claim.
awesome. Yeah, it's a claim.
They
Would be
put it
awesome.
inside it. They're just insulating it better.
Yeah, it allegedly has a range of 621 miles also.
I like that.
Allegedly.
Wait, for how big of a car though?
Yeah, it's not specific. So,
That's where the BS comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
what
one
is
of the,
it?
like a golf cart probably.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Little go kart.
you've seen they have those tiny one-person
Oh,
car
I
EVs
follow
in
those.
China.
Yep.
Y-
I
you
follow
can-
those guys that they ship in tons
Yeah,
of
you
those,
can
and I just try
import 'em.
out. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So great.
Yeah,
Go
they're
to
wild.
Alibaba. Go to Alibaba. You can get one for like $12K.
Yep. They
The-
used to
the
be
Chinese-
a lot cheaper too.
The Chinese EV market is pretty pumping right now. There's
Yeah.
These.
a lot of brands out there going for much cheaper than like what our brands go for. They're selling it to the China's third most popular EV brand called Ion, AION, and it's supposedly going to be in a car next year, and then they're going to open it up to more manufacturers after that. But they're a 2-year-old startup valued at over $1 billion.
Holy moly.
We'll see if that works out.
Interesting.
I'm a little worried that they call it the Phoenix cell because you know what phoenixes
Rises
do,
from
right?
the
They
ashes.
explode.
They
Yeah.
explode and burn.
Yeah, they rise from the ashes, so they're like,
Ugh.
well, this battery was formed from a battery fire.
That's
So-
right. To
It
get
was
this battery.
reforged. It's a metaphor for recycling.
That's we'll go with that. Okay, sure.
All right. BS number 2
Marketing.
for our new listeners. BS means battery segment.
Battery segment.
Battery segment. Toyota has claimed a major breakthrough in solid state batteries. And solid state batteries are the holy grail of batteries. They hold a whole lot more charge. They're a lot safer. They don't have a tendency of catching on fire like lithium ion
They charge
batteries.
faster too, right?
They charge faster. Yep.
Basically, everything you wish a regular lithium-ion battery is, that's what a solid-state battery is,
Amazing.
And it should last longer too, which
and be cheaper to manufacture. Once it-
everything, all
once
the
it
things.
gets to scale, you know.
Yeah. So anyway, Toyota claims, and Toyota, as we know, is a very reputable company.
It's true.
So you got to take this with a larger grain of salt than other companies. Is that a phrase? It is now.
Smaller?
Maybe less grains of salt.
A smaller grain of salt.
A smaller
Jaron,
grain.
you read it wrong. This is Toyota. This is a different company.
Oh.
Bigger grain.
He's been
You ordered it
fooled.
off a Wish.
Yeah, it's the
Nice.
wish of Toyota.
Anyway, they claim they have developed ways to make a solid state battery with a range of 745 miles.
For how big of a car?
Again, it doesn't say.
Oh.
But I trust their claims more than the random Chinese
Touche.
startup. That could charge in 10 minutes or
Wow.
less.
See? That's wild. Could you imagine?
That's approaching normative gas fuel up
Yeah.
at this point.
Oh, that's
you know?
better.
Oh, it's
What kind
better
of-
because
what kind of
you have
car do you
twice
know
the
that can-
range.
drive 745 miles without
Yeah.
stopping. You know?
Right.
My
Like
car. Oh, but I have to stop.
your bladder would explode before you have to charge.
Especially with all the
So-
Mountain Dew I drink.
So much
Yeah.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Of course, it's always like 2 years away.
Yep.
It's 2 years out.
Always.
Always.
By 2030, right?
This is interesting too because Toyota they have their fingers in a lot of alternative drive pies. They are one of the only people working on hydrogen powered cars. They were the first big splash in the market for hybrid, and they're finally getting into a fully electric car. I think their first one came out this year, if I remember correctly. And here they're also putting, and I think they have 2 kinds of hydrogen powered cars too, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that, but one for sure. And then there's this one with solid state batteries. So they're kind of like casting a wide net.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are saying that it plans to manufacture 3 million by year 2030.
That's crazy. That's
7 years.
That's a
Mark it on your
lot.
Calendars.
That would be a lot of cars if
Yeah,
they were manufacturing that
is
much.
a lot of cars.
And so there has to be build up to that amount. So well before 2030, if there's a bird out my window. If their plans come to fruition.
I think all
there
birds
you
are
go.
out your window.
That's true. All birds are outside of his window.
too. It was right there. Okay.
I have a
bird
window.
I'm a little
Most things is
I-
out
I'm a
there
little
except
worried.
me.
I've talked to a few naysayers on electric cars. I wouldn't even say naysayers as much as, I guess, much more pragmatic than maybe the government is being on this, because they want everyone in electric cars by like 2035, and a lot of car manufacturers have said they are going to stop manufacturing internal combustion engines by 2035. But we definitely do not have the electrical infrastructure in this country to
No,
support.
we gotta
everyone
ramp that
being-
up big time.
Yeah, well,
Well, and our
we're
economy is
years
still-
behind on that already, if you ask me.
I mean, we still track the barrel of oil as a market indicator too.
Yeah.
So there's so many.
But we got freedom here, Tony.
it's tied into so much economy too. Like,
I think we'd
I
be
don't know.
fine in spring, winter, and fall.
Well, then that's another that's
In the summertime.
it's the other side of that equation is not only maybe do we not have the infrastructure ready, but we're also being pushed for all renewable power sources, and that's a good thing that we go for renewable power sources until we don't have enough power only running on renewable power sources.
Yeah.
So
I think that's why these mini nuclear plants
That
that they're
would
starting
be
to stand up are
awesome.
pretty cool if they can get past the stigma
yeah
of those, and if they can deal with the waste
yeah.
in a more environmentally friendly way, then I think those have a big chance of
I
pushing
think
that as a backup.
I think that the goals that are there are great. I just think they're not realistic at this point. I think we're probably pushing at least 5 years too fast
Yeah.
for what we can handle as a country with the infrastructure and power generation.
I think it's
but-
like aim for the stars, land on the moon. Type
Yeah,
of thing.
but hopefully what happens is we don't shut down too many other power generating sources
yeah.
and end up with only or too few not renewable power sources and end up in an energy crisis.
Yeah.
That's my biggest worry.
Can you imagine how? I mean, I know this is a little bit unrelated, but when Russia shut off the power tap to Germany,
Exactly. Yeah, and they shut off the
if
natural
you've heard
gas
of-
and
if you've
everything.
heard- if you've heard how that's been going for them, that was absolutely crazy.
Like,
just
terrifying.
imagine-
It was bad.
It was
Bad
bad,
news
so-
bears.
So yeah, I hope that people were either able to hit those goals without hosing ourselves,
yeah.
or we get a more realistic view on timelines
Yep.
put into place.
Well, if it follows the market, I think we'll be okay. Like if they don't artificially enforce
Yeah.
That's the big one.
something before it's ready.
Right. That's the big one.
But it's sounding like EVs will be the norm by 2035 just by the rate of technology. And if that's the case, I think we'll be fine as far as like the power grid and everything.
But
well,
why
how
do
do
you
you-
think that? Like what evidence do
Necessity.
you have to
I
back
think
up
it's- I
What
think-
thinking?
studies?
I think it'll
What
be
Because
fine.
studies do you have, Jaron? Show the studies.
That's
think
that's
it's
the problem
necessity.
is
Because it's following the natural market. That's why.
Yeah.
Rather than an artificial.
It'll
Hard date.
the
it'll be
power
this
production is?
Yeah.
power plants and the power. And
Did you
there's
hear that? Yeah.
Do you
I think
know?
that, like,
I mean-
sure,
Well, I think
whatever. I
that-
don't know.
I think the
Stop asking
infrastructure
dumb questions.
will, right? The infrastructure definitely will because of necessity. There won't.
Yeah,
Like, how do
exactly.
you force? There'll still be gasoline cars around.
No,
that'll be
I
empty.
guarantee you. it
You
will not.
guys think we don't have people in charge of the infrastructure that aren't forecasting these things? That doesn't make any sense.
I
Like,
think they've
of course,
forecast-
there's.
I think they
You've never worked for the
forecasted
government, have you?
It. No, I think they forecasted it way
Have
too
you?
short.
I do right now. Yes.
No, you work for a school.
That's the
owned
government.
by the government.
But is it energy infrastructure?
No, but the government's
Okay.
terrible at forecasting.
I'm just saying.
Darren.
I'm just saying. I hope it works out.
Yeah.
Me
and,
too.
And if they have to take the foot off the gas pedal to make it work, then I hope they do that and they don't just
Yeah.
decide.
Sure.
"Nope,
That's a good
we're
point.
gonna ram it through. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, there's that discussion out of the way.
I don't
right.
have anything to add. I think you all are doing a great job. I think that
Thank you,
the
James.
government is
James,
still
hi.
operating, and it shut down. It still charged me full taxes, but it's fine.
You still had to pay, but
Yeah, isn't that weird that it shut down for like a month, but we still had to pay 12 months worth of taxes?
yeah, do they
Yeah,
prorate
it is
on
weird.
That is
They pro-
weird. I didn't
they
think
should-
about
we should get
that.
bull
prorated,
crap.
right?
And Lando, you shouldn't
Yeah.
judge the government based off of education, because our government sucks at education. Doesn't mean they're bad at everything, though. Like they're good at war.
Okay.
We're good at war.
You've got
Yeah.
that right.
And,
See, so you can't judge it based off of your field. It doesn't make sense.
And we're good at.
That's such a
What else are we
weird.
good at, Jaron?
You know I'm
know,
right.
we just-
Anything?
I don't
Anything?
know if that
Dude, it's-
comparison is what you want it to be.
Again, Jaron,
I don't
it
know
goes
if it
back to the
achieves the
pre-show.
goal you're
I don't-
going for.
I don't know how you operate with this amount of anxiety just bubbling around. Like the amount of anxiety you just induced in my head. You're like, the government sucks at having intellect, and it's really good with sticks. Like hitting
And
people.
rocks.
And rocks. And
Everybody's-
how do you live
Everybody's
with
got
this
their-
stuff? You just gave me new things to worry about.
Everybody's got their thing, but then we're really good at the one.
I've been
Yeah,
watching
exactly.
Star Trek: Strange New Worlds to
So
mellow
good.
me out, and then
Love that
Jaren's here,
show.
and it's just giving me anxiety. I just
All right. Well, let's
Pike's hair.
let's talk about some further anxiety-inducing things for you. The hottest day ever recorded.
So
I
I
don't care
added
about
this
that.
mainly
It's,
because
it's nice and toasty.
well, yeah. So but this story's a little old. It's been around for a couple weeks now. We never got to it, but July 3rd and July 4th were the hottest day
That's only
on
6
average
days ago.
Has it broken that record since? Did you go look it
for
up?
the entire world. Right, this is the hottest average world temperature on record
Yep.
Haas Dave Rowe record so far.
so far. The headline.
This is the worst day of your life so far.
The headline
Bart.
of this article.
Yeah, no, Bart. This
Yeah.
is the worst day of your life so far.
Yeah. The headline for this article says, "This is the coolest summer of the rest of your life."
It might
Every
be.
day.
I don't
You
know.
How
have
does
to
that suck? That sucks
let-
so bad.
Let that dread sink into you, knowing that every year will be hotter than the last.
Well, and so there's a few reasons why this year is super weird and they're super hot, right? So climate change is part of it. Another big part of it right now is we are in the El Nino world weather cycle thing.
Yep.
I don't know what that means, but apparently it makes everything
Well,
all
it's
kinds of
Spanish for
screwy.
the Nino.
Yes.
Thank you. I was going to say
So
Tommy
anyway,
Boy,
it just-
but
it-
Chris
you
Farley.
know-
There we go.
I thought if I had to experience all of this existential dread due to the climate and heating and how freaking hot it is, all of you kind dear listeners get to experience it with me. You're
we go.
welcome.
Oh, is that the? Is
That's
that
it.
Are we
I'm done.
experiencing it now? Okay.
I think this AI generated thing about the hottest day ever is better than what you said.
I can't remember. I didn't look at the story. It was
Boom.
2
No,
weeks old.
I put it in the show notes. There's this new feature in Google Documents and stuff where you can have AI write for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I just did it. The hottest
is
day
that-
ever was a day like no other. The sun beat down mercilessly,
amazing.
and the air was thick with humidity.
was
The
bad.
streets were deserted as people sought refuge from the heat indoors. Even the birds and the insects seemed to have taken a break from their usual activities. And then it goes on from there,
Wow.
but
It's like 4 more paragraphs.
So in this same vein, that's funny that we brought this old story up because I didn't put this on the notes, but scientists from neurostudies.org, neurosciencenews.com, sorry. They've been doing this research into the rate at which the human body starts expending more energy to stay cool and starts like the human body at
What's
this stage,
our actual heat
100
tolerance? kind of?
122 between 104 and 122 degrees. We start like after 122 degrees Fahrenheit, we no longer can
What's-
optimally cool ourselves.
What's the hottest temperature you've ever walked outside to?
like 115.
115.
Yeah, probably around there.
And it's awful, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's bad.
It was-
Well, it
was a-
depends.
It was a dry heat, though. I can't even imagine 115 in a very
So-
humid climate. Holy moly.
So I was in DC when it was 105, and it's very, very humid there. And I got
Yes.
back here to Utah, and it was like a record-breaking day at like 110, 113. And I just sat in the airport parking lot, just like, oh my gosh, this feels so nice in comparison to
I'm drying out
muggy
finally.
heat. Because you would get out of your air-conditioned car in DC, and it feels like you wet your pants because it's just so humid.
Nothing can
It
evaporate.
sucks. It is a literal swamp.
Yeah, needs to be
I
drained.
have
a
Yeah.
literal swamp.
Get it? Get it?
I
the
see what
swamp.
you did there, and I don't like it.
Hey. All right. Let's see. You know what? Owen has some social media stories. Let's catch up on our social media stuff.
I got one too.
Okay, there we go.
For the social media segment.
Here we go.
SSS. No, SMS.
SMA. Anti-social media texting. Anyway, so couple things. You guys talk about threads. Do you guys like threads? Who's on threads?
I'm on Threads.
You're on threads. Jaron?
Yeah.
How do you feel
It's-
about the how do you feel about the privacy policy that you just clicked through and said okay to?
I feel
you
great
read it?
about it. I
I-
know it sucks.
I know I
watched
hate
Meta.
Mark Zuckerberg, but I also know I hate Elon Musk even more.
Okay.
So I clicked yes.
Okay. So there
Sums it
is
up.
this article that I got. It actually shows how much Threads stacks up in the data that it collects and sells on you compared to all the other the other big players in social
wanna
media. Twitter,
know.
Blue Sky,
Good.
The other
Instagram,
one.
Mastodon?
Facebook.
Mastodon. That's what I was trying to go for. I can never remember that one because it sucks. So
Woolly Mammoth.
So
Fediverse.
let's just say and that's the thing, right? The Fediverse, like the federated.
Like cheese?
So here we go, Fediverse. Well,
Feta.
here you go. I'm not going to read.
Oh,
I'm not going to
feta.
read all the other ones. I'm just going to read the ones from Threads, and then I'm going to tell you that it's about 50% or it's double. It's double what the other ones pull from you.
Double
Okay,
than TikTok?
double than TikTok.
Double
and
the amount of data they
double
harvest.
double the things that are in their privacy policy that you agree to when you sign up for Threads.
And I gave TikTok a ton of pause before I signed up for it because I thought the data was a big deal.
And
Oh,
they-
good thing you jumped into Threads.
So
this
fast.
article throws because here's the thing. See, Facebook, Meta, whatever, they've been positioned for a long time to link all these together. They've got Instagram, they've got WhatsApp, they've got Facebook,
Yeah.
and you sign all those, and those all cascade through Threads, and then Threads has its own unique policy that you agree to, and so when you agree to those, you also re-agree to all the other ones as well as it comes
course.
through, right? Because it's just Thread. You know, for us, we're like, it's Threads. What a cool name. But for Facebook, like, it's Threads. It's threaded through them, like stitching. So here we go.
Oh.
Right? Here's some third-party advertising.
see what you did.
So they want purchases, financial info, and it just says other financial info. It doesn't say what that's pretty broad. Location, precise location and course location. Contact info, so they get your physical address, your email address, your name, your phone number, and then other user
We're going to be
contact
here all
info.
night as you read this list.
No, it's okay. I'm going fast.
Do the highlights?
Contacts, user content, so photos, videos, gameplay content, other user content, search history, browsing history, identifiers, which is your user ID, device ID, usage data. So this is product interaction, advertising data, other usage data, diagnostic, that's self-explanatory, and other data. And then
My
you
favorite
have-
one is sensitive info.
Yeah, right.
That's
then
just what it
under-
says.
That's sensitive info.
So that first list right there was just for the third-party advertising. That's what could be used to
Well,
send and feed you ads.
that's
Here's
just
what
for
they
third-party
Here's what they
advertising?
do for the analytics.
Gets better.
Here's the analytics: health and fitness, purchases, purchase history, financial info, payment info, other financial info, location, precise and course, contact, same thing, user content, search history, browser history. Sensitive info, pretty broad there, and then other data, and then product personalization has just the same amount as the other ones because it's kind of bundled in there, and then app functionality. This one says user content, emails or text messages, photos or videos, audio data.
How do they get
gameplay
text
content.
messages?
And emails.
You allow them to plug in to read those because I think the app is
No,
going to be like,
the phone prevents that though.
well, that's the thing.
I
But they
hope.
still have in the future. You signed the EULA, so if they find a way to do it,
then they
you
can.
have agreed, right?
This is just
because-
like that episode of Black Mirror.
And so,
Streamberry.
and
Did you
then
guys
they
watch
just-
that yet? The latest season? It's good.
and then
Anyway.
and then the last one just says other purposes, which is what they define that as. They take the same amount. The other
very
purposes
broad.
they have just the same amount of things. Blue Sky, there's maybe 5. Mastodon is absolutely 0. They don't collect any data on you at all.
Well, that is never going to make it off the ground in
okay,
a real
yeah,
way. Then
right.
Owen, okay, I got you. I hear what you're saying,
Okay.
but I have a follow-up question. Does it access the Wi-Fi?
thank
I
you,
don't
Senator
know.
Lando
Don't
from
Let me-
Kentucky.
You
me
do
answer
work for
that.
the government. Wow.
See?
Let me answer that the same
Nailed
way.
it.
Let me answer that the same way that the CEO of TikTok did. What? I don't understand the question. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. And Threads has taken off. Threads has gone viral as of today. 100 million users
Yeah, that's the
have
story I
signed
have.
up.
It took 5 days. It was one of the very fast. It was faster than ChatGPT to 100 million
Ugh.
users.
Wow.
And so everybody's
record.
just even Twitter. Let me scroll down to Twitter here and see what it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's much
seven,
less.
7 bullet points that it uses across all the data to track you, the third-party advertising, and the analytics. It's basically all the same.
I hope Elon's wearing his brown pants every day.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like
Well, it's
I
just
feel like,
interesting to see how much.
I think Zuckerberg waited till
That is stuck,
the
kind of.
beast was wounded. You know.
Oh, for
and
sure.
now he's coming out swinging.
Well, and here's the thing:
Well,
is
and-
Jack
and-
Dorsey should have done the same thing with Blue Sky. They should have
know.
gone. They should have gone live the second
Absolutely. They should have
That,
pulled the trigger.
I think it was
that
too.
Threads did.
I think he was too interlinked with Musk on that, because it was shown that they were buddy before the sale. Jack
was just to
endorsed
get
the
the
sale.
sale.
Jack endorsed the sale. I don't know that.
Guess what? I don't go back and talk to the used car salesman that sold me my car.
Right.
He sold
Yeah.
me my car. He was my buddy for that half an hour. And
But what if you
now-
bought a lemon? Then you're like,
I talked
hate
to
that guy.
someone for a couple years after I got my car.
What?
Joe Macedoni, Hyundai.
Did you? I know that guy actually. He's not my
Really?
sales guy, but I've talked to him before, huh?
Yeah.
What the heck?
My sales guy's Willie Ralph at Hyundai Murdoch. So go see him. He's better.
See that, Tony?
Ah, wow. I guess I'm a
think
jerk
we're-
because I don't care about my salesman. I barely talked to Jaron, and he's the one that sold me the car I have right now.
He's like, I was referring to Jaron.
I was actually referring to Jaron. Yeah.
So did you guys see Elon's reactions to Twitter or Threads reaching 100 million users so fast?
Go into this is good.
Oh my gosh! So first of all, Elon's obviously very upset about this because he's calling Zuckerberg all kinds of names. I'm
All
not sure if
kinds
I
of
can
things.
say the name.
No, let's not.
I'm not sure if it's a slur or not. I don't like it. I'm not gonna.
Oh,
repeat it.
wait.
It was-
Are you talking about Cuck?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That one's okay to say.
I
don't know.
We'll say one time was fine.
One
and
time
I
was
used
fine.
it. So.
And then the follow-up tweet
again.
was, and then he goes in the very next tweet and says, Elon and Zuckerberg should have a literal dick measuring
I
contest.
saw that one too.
I'm
yeah.
like, Elon,
He
like,
is
who
so
are
angry.
you and what are
Yeah.
you doing?
He's
This is
so
his
pissed.
reaction. This is his fight or flight.
All it's going to
response.
do is make him train even harder for their cage match.
Yeah. Boom.
By the
I
way,
just-
we should probably get together and watch that when it happens on pay-per-view.
Oh,
That'd be so
1,000% we should.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just interesting.
gosh.
Elon's melting down, obviously.
Again.
Yes. But it is pretty crazy how much they're pulling threads. I mean, Facebook, you guys have hated Facebook for years and years since I've known you.
Yeah.
You're like, it's just the data collection. And I'm just shocked that because I'm like, what did we think Threads was going to be any different? Because
Oh, yeah.
Zuckerberg made his life on advertising.
People's data and
on
advertising.
right? One of the first ones when Facebook IPO'd, everybody's like, what are you going to make money on?
Yep.
How are you going to, and not just like, because there was initial, like, oh yeah, you're going to make money off of ads, sure. But like, how are you going to grow? There's only so many ads you can serve. And that's when he had this whole thing about data. And everybody at the time was just like, oh yeah, then here's my money. But at the same time, a lot of people jumped off the platform because they were like, just remember, if you don't pay for the product, you are the product.
You are the
go.
product.
Yeah.
What's funny is James put in the chat, I'll be back in just a sec. Does he not remember that we're recording video so everyone can just see him leave anyway? All right, well, see you later. All right, let's talk about something a little more fun and less depressing. I'm talking about buying stuff. Yeah.
Ooh, buddy.
Oh boy.
As you know, it's Christmas in July with Amazon Prime Day.
and anti-Amazon Prime Day. I'm gonna add a little sub there.
Yeah, because Walmart trots their deals out, and Best Buy trots their deals out. Newegg trotted their deals out. I actually think I kind of like Prime Days better than Black Friday because I feel like it's more tech and gadget oriented than Black Friday is.
Right.
But maybe that's just a bias that I have seen lately. Maybe it's
I
not
like
actually
Black
that way.
Friday because I could spend all day looking at the deals. But
Oh,
during Prime
because-
Day, I have to work.
Yeah,
Unless
'cause
I
you're
like
not at
take
work.
it off, but then that'd be weird. Who takes off Prime Day?
Excuse
Hold
me,
on,
I'd
you
like to-
you just sit in front of your computer
PTO.
all day long looking at deals. That's like all you do on Black Friday. You don't do anything
No,
else.
I sit in
It's
front
on
of my
his
phone. Yeah.
Slick deals, my guy.
You can do that at work.
Do you
No
feel
one's
like
stopping
Slick
you.
Deals poisons the well, like the hunt? Like it's.
Oh,
Slick
I
Deals-
am far
Slick
less
Deals-
excited for stuff
like-
now that I have Slick Deals and get deals all year. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
well, like don't you feel like Slick Deals lowers the mental barrier to entry? Like normal non-deal seeking sleuths just get Slick Deals and then
What's Slick Deals?
What?
don't. Now we're gonna get
Not
I don't
Now we
know.
got
I have no
another
idea.
one
heard
there.
us talk about Slick Deals a billion times.
SlickDeals.net, man.
but like
That's where you find all the
Jaron-
deals.
Jaron and Tony follow this Wario64 guy. They're
On
plugged
Twitter.
into Kotaku. I sometimes Jaron's like, this is happening right now, and I'm like, how and why are you connected to this place? But he gets the deals. But now with Slick Deals, people like you real treasure hunters, are just giving out maps for free, bypassing all the hard work.
Yep.
Do you guys hate that?
Meh.
No.
I'm okay with
You
it.
like to share the deals, even though it means that you may get less of the deal.
Yeah, because on the worst part about that, and the absolute worst thing is maybe I don't spend some money. You know, and that's not a bad thing.
The only time I've ever done it, Jaron was like, "This TV's on sale, mispriced at Walmart right now," and I was like, boom, baby, I want to impress Jaren, and I bought it, and then they canceled it.
Oh, that happens a lot.
Yeah, that happens
There's
a lot.
If you find a deal that's too good to be true on Slick Deals or wherever you're looking, there's a greater than 50% chance that they will just cancel it.
But
Though the
Jaren
last one
has
that Tony and I,
happened, right?
yeah, the last one Tony and I got was just a couple weeks ago, and it came through. We got a 4 terabyte Gen 4 NVMe drive, $150.
Yeah,
Oh, was
crazy good
was it
deal.
a misprice?
No, it was not because they brought it back again 2 days later and
Oh,
had
okay.
it one more time.
Okay, so it's just like
So-
stock reduction or something.
Basically, yeah, looked
Yeah.
like it was that.
Right?
Anyway, so for Prime Day going on as we record this and the day after, I just want to know if you guys saw anything or bought anything that made
Not
you go,
me.
"Ooh, I want that."
I have
I
not.
bought some microfiber towels to wash my car with
Whoa,
on
fancy!
Prime Day sale.
So you can
Wow.
watch that one spot, like it's busted.
I just bought some travel
It's fixed.
chargers
Oh,
for a trip
sorry.
later this year. That's
Yeah, I
all
might
I
have to do
did.
that too.
And that's a good time for stuff like that. Like I said, it feels more gadgety than Black Friday and stuff like that. So you can find a lot of deals on charging gadgets and cables and stuff like that. You know, 20,
And you can
30%
go to,
off.
and you can,
Oh,
if you don't have Prime, you can go there and you can just see Prime deals, right? Like you don't have to go search those somewhere.
I
or
think
can
so,
you?
yeah,
Or
it's
they have
all
a
on the
fil-
front
they have a-
page.
They have a
It's on the
filter
front
for
page.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
I forgot the other thing I did buy is I found 3 energy drink deals. So I bought 3 12 packs of energy drinks.
Sure, of course
Oh,
you
in my
did.
house.
What's
Yes.
what's your poison?
I got
Monsters?
I got a Celsius deal. I got a C4 Smart Energy deal, and there was a third one that I'm not remembering right now.
But it was a deal.
But it was a deal. I think I averaged paying $1.20 per can.
Yeah.
So
Those are normally like what,
that's-
$3?
Yeah, about
$3.50 a
$3
can?
at the gas station. So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it was Rockstar. It was their Rockstar Zero combo pack. It had like fruit punch, grape, and orange.
Okay, I like those.
Those are
ones.
pretty good. Yeah,
They're okay.
They're
They're probably the
those
only
ones,
Rockstars I like.
Those ones are specifically under $1 a piece with the deal, but the other ones were more than $1 a piece, so it averaged out to be like $1.20.
I caved.
Per-
I caved and started buying these.
I love
Liquid
those.
Death?
The lime ones
Oh,
are so good.
man.
They're so good. I don't
So
understand.
expensive.
They're
They're
so expensive,
and they're just water
just
for
flavored
Did
sparkling
you
water.
hear about the guy who?
Wait,
used
you're a
to-
LaCroix bro now?
No, it's not. It's not even close. It's got sugar mixed in
Just
and
a
actual
little,
flavor.
just an itty bitty little bit.
Doesn't matter. It's more than LaCroix does.
Did you hear about the guy? So the black Liquid Death can looks oddly similar to a black Guinness can. So
It
he
does.
I accidentally sent his son in his lunch
Yeah.
a Guinness can
Oh,
instead of a
that's
black
cool.
Liquid Death.
School
Yeah.
was like
That was a couple
um,
months ago. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even know. The first time I saw Liquid Death years ago or whatever, I thought it was a alcoholic beverage
Yeah.
in the fridge at the grocery store. I was like, oh, they got a new beer. That's probably high proof or something. And high proof, is that the right word? I don't know.
Yeah, not in Utah, bud.
Yeah. That was my next thought. Was like they can only sell dishwater in the grocery store at Utah.
Yeah.
From what my friends tell me. So, but yeah, it's just water, Liquid
Just
Death.
water. Have you had one? Have you had one?
It's very
I've,
good.
I've never actually had one.
Okay.
You should get the
I
lime
don't-
one. It's the best one.
Start with the lime. Start with the. Black
I already
one.
have an expensive drink addiction with
You
my
need to-
energy drinks. I don't
You
need
should-
another
you
one.
gotta- I know, and it's. I don't think they're energy drinks.
Now, if they start coming out with an energy drink, Liquid Death, you let me know. I'll be all over that.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I will.
That
they might
tracks.
already.
Yep.
They might already, but
They just
That's
released
right.
a vinyl album. Since we're talking about Liquid Death, James was telling me about that. Too bad he's not here. They took all their hate comments off their website and made an album out of it and sold it in vinyl.
That's pretty funny.
It's pretty good marketing,
because
right?
they're
That
just
is.
printing money right now. It's just
Yeah.
for whatever reason
Yep.
the people like it.
All right, as promised, Patreon backers. It is time for a shout out for our awesome Patreon backers. Darren, you're gonna have to look it up.
He's not
so
ready
get
at
on it.
all.
No, I wanted to give one quick story.
We don't have time.
Mercedes is on the Tesla
do they do
Charger
anyway?
now. Another domino fell. That's
oh
it.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
That's worth it.
I did see that the other day too. Yeah. So I mean, the dominoes continue to fall on that one. So
Yep.
only a matter of time before that is the regular standard for everyone. All right. Thank you so much, Patreon backers. As we close this out, if you donate $6 a month or more on the Patreons, patreon.com/gadgetspot, you get a shout out on the air. And Jaren's got that for us right now.
Big shout out to our tech daddies, David Broshinsky, Aaron Young, Stuart Lloyd, and Wiffleball Tony. Thank you. Mark Cope, Blade Runner isn't worth watching more than once.
Get out of town,
False.
Twyman. I
False.
know that's you.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Knew it.
Andy Bird, Be the 8-Year-Old, King Knight to King Bishop 3, No Name, No Color, Keslow, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, Nathan Motzkus, Matt Nelson. Y'all should check out Hendrix Craftsman on Insta and TikTok. Me, Speechless, like a Japanese video game, ... Josh Dorius, Dick Messerly, Splinter, Adam, Aaron Faulkner, Joe. A right does not, as a practical matter, exist without any remedy for its enforcement. Ryan M. and Adam Hecht. And I'm offended you guys thought I didn't have that ready.
I knew you
I'm,
did.
I'm proud
Thanks.
of you, Jaron.
I
Well
didn't
done.
think you did. I think you totally forgot.
I
You
was
probably
hedging
just
my-
left the window
Actually-
open from when he had it earlier.
I actually
Yeah, I did.
didn't think he did, but I was going to wait until after he stumbled so I could hedge my bets.
And then you could
now
just
I
jump
can-
on him.
And now I've blown it.
Yep.
But
He
Jaron,
knows.
I believed you. Had it ready.
All right, there you go. Thank you so much for downloading us. This is, I think there's only going to be 2 or 3 more episodes of this on the old Gadget Spot RSS feed. So if that's how you got this episode, head on over to the Geek Show RSS feed, and we'll be on there. And we currently are on there on double posting right now, but we're going to wrap up the Gadget Spot RSS feed in the next couple weeks here. But thanks
Well,
for downloading us however you got us this time.
I
Yes,
wanted
Owen.
to note too, for all the Patreon backers, you guys, you can have our new in between.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and you get the ad free. So and that's for all tiers, whether you go
Yep.
whatever.
You get
So
Ad free, and I start the recording at the beginning of Helpdesk, and don't stop the Patreon recording until the end of Arcade. So you get the in-between talk, everything. So
yep.
And if you miss the days of one podcast, you get it again.
that's true.
And you get to have access to our super secret Patreon channel that Landon posts weird pictures in.
Yep.
Oh, man, you make it sound so enticing.
It's so good.
It's so good.
That's right.
And random pictures like me with that freaking shirt on.
That's worth the whole
blue-
cost.
The
I
blue
right
probably-
shirt.
there.
The blue shirt.
I probably should have posted the snake I almost ran over from my backyard.
Absolutely.
That one
Absolutely
needs
you
to- It was
should.
a big old gopher snake. It was probably close to 4 feet long.
And
It
James
was
isn't even here to be
a big
offended by
boy.
that.
I know.
Oh.
All right. We'll see you next week. Lando, take us out.
Oh yeah. Have you tried turning it off and on again, or on and off again? Gosh, dang it! I totally forgot that we're at the help desk or the arcade show. Just turn on and turn off
Why
again,
don't
and everything will be
you-
just
hey,
fine. I
Why
promise.
don't you try turning it on and then off again?
There we go.
See? There you go, Lando.
Think so.
Boom.
That's how professionals do it.
Professional.